Hi there, welcome to Kneppyinvests. Time for a bit of an update to a company called Alcidion, a company I have been following for about 4 or 5 years. And I actually have been a shareholder at times in this company, but not right now. And one of the reasons I want to look at Alcidion and focus on their March quarter Appendix 4C is because we have seen a significant decrease in the share price over the past year. In fact, the share price has fallen about 80%. June last year, the share price was around about 47, 48 cents. And right now, at the end of closing on trading, the 10th of June, the share price was 11.5 cents. So a significant decrease in the share price. Now, at times, this has been a hyped up company. And there was a period when the share price got really high where the valuation of this company was over $500 million. Now, Alcidion is not profitable, and that's the big problem this company is facing right now. Unprofitable tech type companies are unfavored amongst investors, all types of investors actually, and that's why we have seen a significant drop in the share price. But things might turn around, and if things do turn around, is Alcidion attractive at current prices or current valuations? I'll talk about that during the rest of the video. But before we talk about that, what does Alcidion actually do? To talk about what Alcidion or describe what Alcidion does, all you have to do is really focus on their purpose. And they have stated their purpose a few times. And this is from a presentation they did release to the market maybe a year ago, or maybe less than a year ago. But when they did an acquisition, they actually did state their purpose in that presentation. And they have a simple purpose, according to themselves, to transform healthcare with smart, intuitive technology solutions that improve the efficiency and quality of patient care in healthcare organizations worldwide. Focus on providing tools to clinicians to enable them to take a proactive rather than reactive approach to patient care. So the best way to describe what a company does is to let the company speak for themselves. And that was a good description about what they do. They do have the MIA platform, and there's a lot of different products within that MIA platform. So this is all about improving customer care, which I think is a good thing. So what this company is doing is a good thing. I've also heard that hospitals and healthcare organizations are very reluctant to improve their technology. I'm not sure if that's a real thing because I have no experience within the healthcare sector. And if you do, and you actually can acknowledge that the healthcare sector has a hard time adopting new technology, I'd love to hear about it because Alcidion is trying to fix that for the benefit of the end user or the patient. Now, a few other facts in regards to Alcidion. The company was founded in 2000 and we're a backdoor listing via Nakuta Resources in February 2016. So they have been listed on the ASX as Alcidion for over 6 years now. Current CEO is Kate Quirk. She's been in that role since July 2018. And one of the biggest shareholders of Alcidion is actually Australian Super with an 8.8% holding in the company. Now, the market cap, this is before trading on the 10th of June. So the share price at that point in time was 13 cents. The market cap of this company is $171 million. So because the share price has fallen 80%, that just tells you that was a point in time when the valuation of this company was way too frothy for a company that is not profitable. And we'll look at the cash receipts history as well. And there's nothing to get too excited there in terms of valuation. Current ticker code is ALC, and I always get mixed up with ACL, which is Australian Clinical Labs. I don't know why I get mixed up with ACL and ALC. I don't have any problems with dyslexia or anything like that. But the ticker code is ALC. Now, before we have a look at the March quarter results for financial year 22, I'm just going to go back in time, looking how this company performed in the March quarter last year. And this is when the share price was about to reach their all-time high of 47 cents. And I probably could understand why the market was excited about this company based off these results, because they had receipts to customers, record receipts at this point in time of 11.5 million. Not only that, the company was operational cash flow positive by 2.8 million. And because they didn't spend any money in investing and financing activities, all that cash went to the bottom line, and they actually increased the cash on hand from 12.5 million to 15.3 million. So things were looking up for this company back 1 year ago at the end of the March quarter. So let's see how things have progressed for Alcidion over the past year. Now, I'm not sure if there's any seasonality with this company, but we have seen 2 quarters, March quarters, that have been the 2 best performing quarters for this company. You'll be able to see that when we look at the cash receipts history in a few slides. But if we look at the March quarter for financial year 22, not quite as good as the March quarter in financial year 21. In fact, receipts did decrease year on year or quarter on quarter. Is it year on year or quarter? Yeah, it's year on year. Looking at different quarters, down to 11.1 million. So cash receipts down 500,000. Unfortunately, even though cash receipts did fall, this company significantly increased their spending on staff and administration. In fact, staff costs went up 1.4 million, administration costs went up 2.3 million. And because costs increased when receipts went down, no longer is this company operational cash flow positive. They're in fact negative, and they were negative by almost 450,000. And because they're operating cash flow negative, they are spending a little bit of money in financing and investing activities. Their cash on hand actually fell from 18.9 million down to 17.5 million. Now, in isolation, it might be a little bit troubling that receipts actually did fall from March quarter last year to this year. But when you do look at the receipts history, you'll notice there's a lot of lumpiness in regards to Alcidion. And the 2 March quarters we've seen, I've talked about in this video, were the 2 best quarters in terms of cash receipts for Alcidion. So there might be a little bit of seasonality here, but if we go back to the March quarter 2020 and the March quarter 2019, those weren't any significantly higher than other quarters. So maybe these are just 2 one-offs. But overall, the trend is up for Alcidion, even though there is a bit of lumpiness there. If we go all the way back to 2016, March 2016, when they became Alcidion, that backdoor listing, receipts have been generally going up. And that is a thing I am looking for in these type of companies. I want to see receipts growing through time, and you do get that with Alcidion. One of the things I like to see with these type of companies that are approaching profitability or becoming consistently operational cash flow or even free cash flow positive is I want to see receipts or revenue growing at a greater rate than their spending. And we haven't quite, or Alcidion hasn't quite got there just yet. So this is looking at their receipts, staff costs, administration costs, and cash flow since the September quarter 2018. Receipts have more than doubled from 5.1 million to 11.1 million, but staff costs have more than doubled from 3 million to 6.1 million, and administration costs have more than doubled. In fact, they're almost tripled from 1.3 million to 3.5 million, and the company's cash flow is remaining stationary during this time period. So this company hasn't reached any sort of scale, and I want to see this company reach scale, and that's when it will become exciting. When this company increases their cash flow, increases their receipts, increases their revenue at a greater rate than they're spending. And I think that's something the management of this company needs to focus on in the future, particularly if these tough times keep on going over the next few years. Now let's have a look at a couple of charts for Alcidion. First chart here is the daily chart, and the next slide, we'll look at the weekly chart. For the daily chart, I'm going all the way back to February 2020, just prior to the COVID-19 financial panic. And during the panic, the share price of Alcidion fell from the 20-cent range, or just above 20 cents, all the way to 10 cents. And 10 cents held firm quite solidly. And that's not a surprise because 10 cents, or round numbers, tend to be really strong support or resistance levels. So I'm talking about 10 cents, $1, $10. But particularly 10 cents, I have found over the past 10 years, that's a very strong level, and it is actually a very powerful signal that 10 cents held firm for Alcidion. And the breakout in this company's share price was a deal they made on the 9th of November 2020 with South Tees Hospitals. Share price rose 44% on that day. It went from about 12.5 cents all the way to about 16, 17 cents. And then the share price kept on rising over the next 6 to 7 months, all the way through to June 2021, when the share price reached a high of about 48 cents. But the share price has been struggling since then. And in fact, the share price moved into a well-defined downtrend late in 2021. Share price at that point in time was just above 30 cents, and the share price has been moving down right now. So a lot of negative sentiment right now in regards to Alcidion, a well-defined downtrend. We need to see signs that the sentiment is turning. The very fact the share price is moving towards this very this very strong support level at 10 cents could be a good buying price potentially. It could be a floor to the share price. But because there is a lot of negative sentiment in this company right now, it would not surprise me to see the share price fall through 10 cents. I think we might see a rebound of 10 cents. We have seen that a few times in companies. For instance, Mesoblast rebounded off $1. That was a very strong support level for Mesoblast. It rebounded off $1 a few times, but has since fallen through $1 and has continued to fall. I think the share price of that company is now around about 75, 80 cents. So we need to see 10 cents hold firm for an extended period of time. But I wouldn't be surprised to see the share price of this company fall through 10 cents simply because of the sentiment in this company right now. And as we take a look at the weekly chart, this goes all the way back to 2016 when the company did backdoor onto the ASX. And actually, when they did go through that backdoor listing in 2016, there was a lot of interest in this company. You can see the massive amount of volume. In fact, the share price rose from about 2 cents all the way to a high of over 10 cents. Then that interest died away for about 2 years, definitely through 2017, 2018, and during the beginning of 2019. And then in about March of 2019, we saw increased interest. You can see that increased interest just by the volume. There were 2 really big weeks of volume, and that was a breakout in this company's share price. So if you are someone who is wanting to know more about charts, don't just look at the share price action, also look at volume. Volume is very important, and you can just see the increase in interest in this company through the increase in volume. So from 2016 or the end of 2016 to the start of 2019, a very low volume, and then we saw an increase in volume, and that was a breakout in the share price. And in fact, the share price went from about 5 cents to a high of about 28 cents. And that is actually when I became interested in this company. It was around about 8 cents just after that breakout. And even when we saw this company make that deal in November 2020, we saw massive volume during that week. But that volume actually didn't continue over the next few weeks. I would have liked to see that volume continue, but the share price did increase about 300% over the next 6 or 7 months. As the share price has been falling, we haven't seen massive volume. It's just been consistent selling. And this consistent selling doesn't look like it's going to stop anytime soon. And so that's why, even though I do think 10 cents is a strong support level for this company because it was the COVID-19 lows, there's also a very strong psychological level. It wouldn't be surprised to see the share price of this company fall through 10 cents, and that would be a fairly bearish move. That's all I have for this video on the March quarter Appendix 4C video for Alcidion. If you do have any thoughts about this company, particularly if you do have fairly bullish thoughts, I know this company is fairly hyped among certain sections of the market. There are a few podcasters who are experts I listen to who are fairly high on this company, fairly high on the future, and more than likely they have held this company since it's fallen from 48 cents down to a current share price of 11.5 cents. And if they are bullish about the future of this company as the share price falls, they should become more excited. And that's what you would like to see. As the share price falls, investors become more excited because they see value. At this point in time, I don't see a lot of value in Alcidion. The market cap is still above $150 million. They are not profitable. On occasion, they are operational cash flow or even free cash flow positive. But I want to see this company being operational cash flow and free cash flow positive on a consistent basis. They haven't reached that really important inflection point just yet. And because of the negative sentiment, and because I don't think there's really good value in this company right yet, I'm just going to remain on the sidelines and just see how low the share price of this company can go. So if you do have any thoughts, leave in the comment section of this video. Otherwise, I'm not a financial advisor. If you do need financial advice, make sure you seek out someone who is qualified and can speak to your own financial needs. That's it for this video. Have a good day. Bye.